You are watching TFI.
Everybody ready? Hoorah!
What?
Alright, look mate, so Render Wars started quite some time ago. It seemed like a great idea at the time. A few people were stoked about it, but it just didn't materialise into views. Less than 2,000 views per video just wasn't smoking my pancake given how long each video took to make. I was hoping YouTube was going to do me a solid and promote the video more than it did. Just didn't turn out that way, so it kind of fizzled out and died. However, I have made a commitment to give away the 3D Connection Spacemouse as the prize. So what I'm going to do is take the 5 previous winners and then throw them all together in this video, and you can all vote on who has the best render. Now, because quite a few people are new since I started this and have probably never heard of Render Wars, what it was is a competition where anyone can enter a render from any package, either created specifically for the show or something you've done in the past. You send your renders in to me, I choose the ones that I think are good enough to be on the show, and then I put them up against 5 other people roughly. And then viewers of the video vote on who had the best render in their opinion, and then that person wins that episode and goes into the final. Alright, so without any further ado, we're going to get right into it, mate. I'm going to keep this really brief, given how long it's been since the original episodes aired. You can go back to the original episodes if you want to see the first show and the renders appearing for the first time. But I'm not going to show each and every render that was submitted. We're just going to try and bash through these as quick as possible, and we're going to start with the winner of episode 1, which was Niels, who absolutely nailed it, man. He started off Render Wars with an absolute huge shebang with this sort of king and queen anime style render using 3D Studio Max and the Arnold render, I believe it was. It was absolutely delightful. I mean, now when I saw this, I was blown away by it. Just the texturing, the glass, the caustics that are going on in there, the wood texturing, the detail in the characters was absolutely exquisite. I was loving that one all day long. And then we've got the chessboard sort of render that we've, I think it's similarly done in 3D Studio Max with the Arnold renderer. More classy wood texturing going on here. You must have a little bit of a penchant for some mahogany. But yeah, that was a delightful render. It was a great way to start off the Render Wars series. And it was indeed won by Niels, the winner of Render Wars Episode 1. And the winner of Episode 2 was quite the surprise, really. I wasn't expecting this, given the stiff competition it was up against. And I'm not going to lie, mate, no offence, Wayne, but it's, I mean, it was a great render, and I think it was more the story behind it which won it over. But it's just a knife, mate. If I'm honest, I probably picked it up at the time, mate. But it's kind of just a knife. It's okay, isn't it? It was up against a guy from India, I believe, who did a couple of awesome renders of like a formula-based car. But this one seemed to come out on top. And sure, I can't honestly remember. No offense, Wayne. Like, I know I'm not doing you much of a favor here, but I can't remember what the story was behind it. I honestly haven't went back and looked at episode 2, but that's Wayne's render, the winner of Render Wars episode 2. I think it was at this point where I thought I need to start being a bit more brutal with the entrance onto the show and stop just accepting anything. Sorry, Wayne. The winner of Render Wars Episode 3 was Joris Hogenberg, Hoggers for short. The story behind Hoggers was that he was extremely young. I think he was 16, just turned 16 when he submitted these renders. He's probably retired now, given how long it's been since I started this. But these renders were absolutely spectacular, given the age of Hoggers. Doing these sort of renders at 16, man, it was absolutely spectacular. The quality of the lighting and the texturing done on these was just magnificent. And this kitchen table render is absolutely outstanding, mate. Hoggers just stormed it, ran away with it, and turned out to be the winner of Render Wars Episode 3. And the winner of Render Wars Episode 4 was Jeffrey Mole with this Lego plane scene, it's quite tasty, this, mate. I mean, the backplate helps you quite a bit, that flash of dramatic lighting in the background, but yeah, it was a good render. This sort of Lego-based airplane done in, I think it was Autodesk Inventor this one was rendered in, which was quite the achievement, given Inventor's not the best at rendering. The backplate kind of goes quite some way into enhancing the quality of the render. But the way it interacts, given it is just a backplate, the way that it interacts with the model, and it seems to be quite seamless, it was a quality render, mate, well deserving of the Episode 4 title. And finally, the winner of Render Wars episode 5, the last one, which was God knows how many months ago, was Steve Griffith with a collection of absolute crackers, mate. First off, we've got this sort of Call of Duty style military render with a hand grenade and this little sort of granddad pocket watch and a few bullets going on a table. Absolutely delightful, loved that. And then we had a Fender guitar, which was sort of zoomed in. Again, the reflections on that, the metals and the plastics were absolutely beautiful. Really appreciated that. That was a lovely render. We also had this sort of oil lamp as well, well textured again. The background, I remember saying, was a little bit out of sync with the main render itself, but overall it was just nice to look at. A very pleasant looking render. And then we've got this chessboard, which I think stole the show. Really, this one was what it was all about. The quality of the chrome, the reflections on the chessboard. It was tasty, mate. All in all, I think Steve was well deserving in winning Render Wars episode 5. Right, there you go, mate. I said it would be brief. So what I'll do is I'll flash up all the renders on screen now as a reminder of what's just happened. If you go to the community tab on my channel, there'll be a poll there where you can vote on who is your winner and who will be the receiver of the 3D Connection Spacemouse. So good luck to you guys. Thank you very much for entering. And I'll be in touch with the winner. I'll give it around a week for voting, and then yeah, I'll get in touch with the winner and we'll sort out the shipment of your 3D Connection Spacemouse. Alright then, a couple of words before I wrap this up. I had so many entries, especially from a few individuals. One guy, Rob, sent me 150 emails into Render Wars. To be fair, I think about 100 of them were one email that was spliced. I think Gmail spliced into 100 separate emails. For some reason, he sent something that was too big to be sent in one email. But for anyone that's still hoping to get onto the show or has seen this for the first time and is like, well, actually, that's a good idea, I want to enter into it. What I'll do, I'll gauge the reaction to this video, not in terms of the comments. It's nice reading people saying this is a great show and stuff, but when that still materializes into like 1,500 views for a video, it's not enough for us to keep it going. So I'm going to gauge the total view count, like to dislike ratio, that kind of thing, and if it performs decent enough, then I might keep Render Wars going, but as a non-prize competition, just as something, you know, fun and entertaining to do, rather than there's going to be a prize at the end of it. Mostly just for respect and kudos kind of a thing. So we'll see how that goes. But mate, thanks very much. Apologies that this has dragged on for so long. Thanks for everyone that's entered, and I do apologise that I didn't forget about it. It was just one of those things where I just had no motivation whatsoever to carry it on, given that nobody watched it, and no bugger cared. Nobody's even mentioned it since I stopped doing it. So anyway, thanks very much. Good luck to all the entrants, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles.